Okay, back live here. Hey, Bet. Yeah, it's not a great policy. Not a great policy at all. We can definitely do better than that easy. Like, our defaults probably do better. That's funny. Alright, what do we got for experiments here? Oh, come on, Neptune. Friggin' work. Uh-huh. This is just like the laggiest crap. Like, supposed to be like the faster wand to be, and it's just laggy crap. Like, what the hell is Look at this. It doesn't even friggin' work. Teh. Nope. He wrote me a unhinged essay that, like, an unhinged essay on, like, the... No. Like, let's just say that guy is, one of the problems with the field and why it sucks so much for the last 10 years. And, I had some suspicions, but from the message, like, yeah. And the real kicker is he wrote me an essay and then he stopped replying. But the crazy thing about it is he was like, he said stuff like you have to have clarity on, like, why, you're doing the things you're doing or whatever. But, like, basically his description of, like, how the field has gone and, like, what, like, the improvements have been and stuff that he had in there have been literally the opposite of what's actually happened. I don't freaking know. It's like I read that and it's like, all right, no wonder this field doesn't friggin' work. You know? Okay, okay, this is something. This is a 2.9. This is a reasonable curve. So this is 2789 and 2.8 bill. It would be really nice if this thing actually worked. Haters gonna hate. Mm-hmm. I mean, okay, this is like, this is valid. Is there anything I can actually, like, check on this, then? Don't have a window open with this, do I? Nope. Their stuff is just down. Okay. Well, I mean, this was the fix, though. I guess then what we do is, in the meantime, we try to hunt the sweeps bug, yeah? We, like, try to hunt our sweeps bug? Maybe? And try that again. See where my tab went. Here it is. Oh, maybe I do have neural MMO. Hang on. Nope. 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 Ah, this I actually do have. Cool. So this is useful. So 2.9. So 3 billish. 3 million comprof. Oh, that's a good result. Yeah, that's a good result. That's very solid. But I guess the next thing is going to be, I mean, when we actually run a sweep, trying to get a sweep to run with DDP, maybe? So that we can actually sweep, taking into account distributed speedups. That would be interesting to do. But yeah, I think we have the branches that we were looking for here. This one. Buffer AI. Buffer AI. Here. Hey. Bird just flew into the window for no reason. Don't do that. Not smart. I mean, they literally see me here in the window. So like, I don't know what they're doing. They don't fly into them super fast here, luckily. We've got all sorts of nice birds here. We've got like really, really like bright red cardinals and these like cobalt blue bluebirds. Got yellow orioles. We even have a few green hummingbirds. Very nice. What else is around here? We've got rabbits. Lots of rabbits. The occasional turtle. Cardinal in a window. The cardinals are nice. See what files I changed here. Hang on, is there a thing here? I'll come back to this. Hey, Martin. Alright, Mr. Bet the Poet. I'm looking for like other things in here that I could have possibly changed. Okay, here's the grid policy. I did bet it didn't repro properly. No. I'm just trying to like get a sense of what changed around this time. Mm-hmm. I should probably run a better like attempt at repro on the original. Is Neptune back working again? Okay, Neptune's back up. So I can actually probably go look for the original now. Auto. Auto? Really? Oh, I guess so. Huh. Well, this is a breakout one. So this is... Auto. Okay, so I mean, according to this, this is what was run. We actually can probably have these, getting darker. It gets dark, you'll actually be able to see the tiny boxes in the background. They're really cool. Okay, there's the grid sweep. I guess the question is going to be, if this doesn't repro, what the hell happened, right? This is the one from last night. Oh, that's why it was down. They were updating the website. I'm trying to think what else I can do in the meantime, because, like, I need to run this experiment for a while. Could start on new M stuff. I mean, these are kind of the two crucial things at the moment. Is the DDP. Like, DDP and good sweeps are the two key things. I mean, technically, I've been putting off, like, just the work of figuring out and exporting all the new policies for release, so I could do that. I think realistically how much stuff there is that I need to do, like, before I can release this. It's kind of just like sweeps, and DDP. We have pretty much all the baselines done. I guess we just have to put all the M's up still, right? Put all the new M's up. I guess I could technically go do some detective work on what's happening here. It's just so weird that this is, like, there's such a big change in the sweep perf. Okay, so this is just change to 32 length. Okay, and this doesn't work. And this one, is fixing the final step. Okay. This one, was just a random merge. Okay, so then this didn't do anything. And then this one, here, the clipping coefficient. And also the tweaks to the breakout config. Mostly clipping. Even though the sub 20-second doesn't use the clipping coef. Guess it's faster though. It's probably faster params, like faster sim. What's this? But yeah, like I don't see anything crazy here at all. Is there anything I can do? The only other thing I don't know is if there were any differences in sweep setup. There would have been though. Don't think that there would have been. They're like update epochs or something. Check that real quick. Okay, so this is when I know that their end was broken. Here's the maze, the full maze sweep. Really good. Yep, good one, bet. Would max size have changed? I'm gonna feel really friggin' stupid if max size changed. But it didn't. Like, almost sure of it. $47. These are the right params. Sweeping Vecnum ends. It's so weird that this doesn't repro. How's the sweep doing? Working on anything cool today? Working on distributed training. We got the new hardware in. See if you can see this in the background. See the two white boxes up there? Under the stars of the flag? Plus 12 GPUs. So now Puffer has 20 4090s. Quite nice. So I was working on getting these set up today. A little bit. Working on distributed training setups. Fair few things. It is a big flag. You're huge. Big. What? Zoom still on? Oh. Yeah, that. You can see the 2 blocks of wood behind me. Those are the packing. Those were packing material for the tiny boxes. So George Hotz was kind enough to send me some deadlift blocks with my order. I don't know if I call this reproing though. Like, it has to actually get a run that is better than this. You know, they did a ridiculously good job packaging that thing. It had like 3 layers of like foam corners with air gaps. It was like a box and a box and a box, with like foam corners at each layer, and then they air tagged the whole thing. The package air tagged. Loot box vibes. Yeah, to be fair, they could have. Things are heavy though. It was not easy to get them onto that rack and like get the feet to sit correctly on the top of the rack. I only have one of them hooked up so far. The other one's plugged in, but like I need to get it's not connecting to the network for whatever reason, so I'm waiting till I ordered a VGA cable so I can plug into it. It plugs in via VGA for some reason. No biggie. Been pretty good so far though, like no, this is nothing to scoff at. 64090s. I'll see if this actually repros. Gonna be interesting. Have you benchmarked them? Speed is comparable. The single card speed is comparable to any of these 4090s that I have already. So, I mean, they're real 4090s. They run at the speed of a 4090, which actually, funny enough, is about the same as the speed of an H100. If this repros, I will be able to solve this, basically. Like, if this repros the sweep, then I'll be able to solve this issue. If this doesn't repro, though, then what the hell do I do? What's the contingency plan for if this doesn't repro? Yeah, but like the sweep repro bullshit takes forever. But the thing is, like, I have a very nice log of exactly what I was having issues with on the last sweep repro. And I've done everything correctly as far as that last study went. So it's like controlling the number of steps you run for eval, not resetting the env before eval is important. But I'm trying to think what is even the error surface, right? Like, if this doesn't repro, what is even the possible error surface? I'm pretty sure this is the same machine I ran the sweep on as well. Right, like if I go back to find that sweep from before, where is it? Where is it? So if I go to this sweep, how were grids made? They are vacuum-knitted. So this was from before the bet decref bug fix. Which is probably why I have a bunch of sweeps that like randomly died at some point. No, because this actually has the decref bug back in it. Why is this on float action? Oh, because it's just continued. That's fine. work done on meta. Do I have 60 bill? Well, that's a really good run. That's a really good run, isn't it? Hold on. Wait a minute. I see 5. Oh no, I just see 5. Okay. So 5 at 60 bill is pretty decent. Just some meta stuff. Yeah, this compares. Gonna throw the grid params on meta. Oh, interesting. Oh, come on. Is this gonna actually... Alright. See what this does. Bad runs. Man. Thing. Be weird if I end up getting like very similar results. Although I think this is slower. I recall, yeah, this is a fair bit slower. It's actually a really big concern if the sweep still doesn't repro. Like, that would be really major, wouldn't it? We need those sweeps. That's like one of the main things for the results uh, of the release. The only thing I could possibly think of, right, is that I changed some defaults or some like sweep params. Yeah, but like there's a difference between there being a little bit of variability and like the thing perfectly solving in less than 100 experiments versus being down 20% after 200. Not a small difference. We also have results from multiple ends. There's a difference for, at least for breakout and for grid, for both of them. Best thing I can do is just to let this thing run. Yeah, I mean, I can. Here, we'll do that right here. You can clearly see it trends differently. Okay, ready? We'll put these guys here. The chat up. Okay, so on the left will be the run that worked. On the right will be the run that did not work. Okay. Okay, so you can see qualitatively, right, the massive difference in these two runs. If I go to our sample view or our sweep progress view here. Okay. So first of all, I mean, I guess this 200 run is like split. Like two different runs in here, so whatever. We'll do like this. Now you can see the difference. Total time steps. This finds like roughly the correct learning rate. Gammas. Lambdas. One update epoch. Learning rate way higher. No, there's one bad sample here. And then 0, 0, 1, pretty much. 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 2. Pretty comparable. This one spends way more time running too high learning rate though. Learning rate is way too high. It's like a factor of 2 high on the second. Yeah, it just generally, I think it runs, it has a whole bunch of bad runs. But like, what does this tell us about why this error occurs? Like, update epochs is 1 in both. BPT horizon is locked. So numenvs is going to be different here, but this is... Like, this is run with vec numenvs 2, and this one's run with vec numenvs, I believe, 8. You can see the massive difference in cost here. Really more than anything. Burrito Frontier. And look, like in 100 seconds you have these solves, and this doesn't. Yeah, low cost on the second is a very big difference. I agree. It could technically be something with the mini batch size, I guess, here, because like this one just runs way few experiments at the optimal mini batch. But like still, this gets 0.87. Even with 16K, and this doesn't get anywhere close. Entropy. So here's vec numenvs. Env numenvs. Break training completely. Team batch is big. Initial perf chart. Optimal mini batch for grid is 8192. To be fair, this was one of the parameters that changed. So again, none of this is going to matter if it doesn't repro from the old branch. Yeah, but like, what's that have to do with... like all this is only relevant if the original run repros, right? Like the original sweep repros. If the original sweep doesn't repro, then like looking at the difference between these two doesn't tell us that much. Meta doing? We can go through the sweep code, but like we checked the diff already. Worse? Weird. I mean, are we? Because, like, it was working before. After the vec change? Yeah, I did rerun, and also, the one that we're running right now, the repro we're running now, is with the old like the old vecenv numbers. Yes, the individual experiments do repro. Like, I can take the best run from the old version of the code where the sweep was good, and I can train that model, but the sweep can't find those parameters. What the hell else? I'm trying to think, like, because the thing is, it doesn't show you deltas from the commit that you ran the experiment on. So I'm trying to think, like, if I messed with anything before running that experiment. Batch size is auto here. That's what that means. Logs within the sweep. That's going to be stochastic. Like, that logic is a trained model is the problem. Yeah, that's something. I'm just, like, messing around with a few things. Pretty much. I figured I would, like, mix the main hypers from grid with the gamma lambda tuned for meta and see if that does anything. I don't think anything could have changed within the logic for the sweep itself either, bet. I was pretty sure that... I mean, I guess I can go double check one thing. But, like, it still wouldn't explain the lack of reproing. Though, admittedly, I'm not sure that it doesn't repro yet, right? Like, these are pretty good. It could be I just straight up didn't run this for long enough, you know? That this just is a slow start and then it actually works. I could believe that. I mean, it would make the most sense, to be honest, out of anything. Because it would be, like, absolutely crazy cursed if this doesn't repro. I mean, and then if this does repro, I should just be able to go and exactly match all of the hyperparam ranges and, like, be less cavalier about it, and then that should just run. That would actually be the best outcome. I should actually probably assume that that's the case, or at least plan for that possibly being the case. So once I finish this one meta experiment, I should set it up to like run that sweep confirmation and just be very careful about matching params. Then that's kind of it. I might just do that for the night. Then I'll have pretty much everything up and running. I'm currently rerunning the old sweep, and then I'll have to set the new one up locally, I think. Graphite. Hmm. Funny that nothing beats these params. Yeah, this heart get is like way better. Yeah, no, we will be able to beat these as well because, like, I suspect this doesn't correspond to a ridiculously good policy. It's hard to do objectively best params. Not really a way to do that. There's no theory behind any of this crap. Like, really? Eh. I don't know. You know what I really want to work on? Once we get all the RL stuff working, I want to work on RL for sci-fi. Like, how do we use really good RL to just make some sci-fi tech? That's what I want to do. Like, if you were to pick fields, right? Not fields that, like, you think are super important right now or whatever, but, like, if you were to pick, like, what fields need, like, would actually be the most important to making, like, crazy sci-fi shit in the future, like, I don't think it's humanoid robots, for instance. Like, I actually don't think humanoid robotics even plays that big of a role at all. Like, I think it's stuff like materials engineering, um, like some real hard biotech. Like, there's some like stuff in there. Nanoparticle production. Yeah, Tyler. Hey, Tyler, is it possible to make an antimatter engine? Can we make an antimatter fueled engine? Like, can we do some real sci-fi shit? Is that possible? Hey, now we actually have the physics PhD here. We have a doctor of physics here, so we can ask him stupid sci-fi questions. Perfect. Oh, a physicist. Like, so in like the culture novels, right? They've got like antimatter fueled engines for missiles and spaceships and shit. Can we just do that? Make it happen. It's not that hard, right? Totally possible, yeah. So like here's kind of one of the things that kind of amuses me and why I'm like I think that probably like 80% of these like well what if this sci-fi or that, like they're probably stupid, but like you got to think about it, there's probably zero people actually trying. Thanks, ideas are pretty good. Yeah, that author was crazy as well. He was like a nutty, but he could write some cool stuff. Like one of the things I really appreciated about his stuff was he was actually kind of self-aware. Yo, Bet, did you read Use of Weapons? I really liked how he was kind of self-aware, where he had this like ridiculously leftist idea of a fantasy like sci-fi utopia, but he was still like self-aware enough to put like like and some people thought like maybe some people thought that they were soft and like they didn't punish people like yeah, so do I. That scene from the opening of that book was like not only was it really good, it was just also really self-aware in a kind of a rare way. I thought it was pretty cool. According to my calculations, the flight that just disappeared. Wait, what? Dude, I asked you for his physics, not conspiracy. Possible with antimatter if the spheres were around the density of iridium and 10 to 12 feet in diameter. What? Wait, I thought antimatter is like you blow up a continent if you have a gram of it or something. Isn't that wrong? Is that right? I thought like isn't it maybe I'm wrong. It's like some ludicrous amount of energy though. Isn't it straight up like MC squared? Like literally that amount of energy? So like whatever it's like a kilogram is times 10 to the 16th. Yeah. So like a gram of it is 10 to the 13th joules. Is that it? Like 1 gram is like 10 to the 13th joules. Let's see if Grok bans me for this. Joules, energy, fat man. Yeah. So that's like a gram of antimatter, right? Yeah, it's literally, it's more than fat man. Right? You know, honestly, here's the reason I like thinking about this stuff, even though it's like fucking crazy out there and not what you would like, not what serious scientists spend their time thinking about. Also, I've got like a bunch of deer just coming up to my window that we're gonna have to get some venison steak if they get any closer. Oh, all right. But here's the thing. Like, this is why I actually like thinking about these things. Like, if anybody thinks about this for like 5 seconds, right? There is no way you're getting like spacefaring travel out of sci-fi with any conventional fuel source, right? Like, there's just no way. You're not gonna have like massive, massive tanks of like hydrogen or oxygen or like or whatever, right? Poaching? Nah, they're on the family farm, man. That's not poaching. You can absolutely shoot deer on your farm. Yeah, but you see what I mean? Like, there's no way, right? So like, it kind of is. It's like you've almost got nothing to lose trying to go for these crazy out there things because like basically zero. Like there is no amount of incremental progress on like current methods that is going to get you like crazy sci-fi tech. And I want crazy sci-fi tech. 'Actually, let's do another like comparison, okay? I thought of one more thing. 10 to the 13th. So 8 times 10 to. So if this is correct, right? Then the largest ever rocket has had less energy in it than Fat Man, which has had less energy in it than 1 gram of antimatter. right? 10 to the 13th sounds high. I mean, you can double check this, right? I'm gonna actually send this too. Hey, Ahmed. How's it going? We're running experiments and talking about random physics stuff as well. I honestly didn't expect this to work out so perfectly, where it's literally like... I guess it makes sense. I wouldn't expect a rocket to have more energy in the fuel than a frickin' nuke, right? Actually, that does sound high, doesn't it? Yeah, Tyler, that does sound high, right? Like, a rocket blowing up is not going to do anywhere near as much damage as a nuclear weapon, right? I mean, I could be completely wrong. Am I just totally wrong and, like, literally the rockets have gotten so big by now that, like, they literally have the fuel reserves of a nuclear weapon equivalent? Time thing too. The light of the bomb. If they really used 2.2 million kg, that's crazy. In reaction going, yeah. Well, I'm at the thing that, so this discussion, it's some sci-fi shenanigans. So, like, look at this. The largest rocket ever has less than 6 times 10 to the 13th joules of fuel. Okay? Batman, so like an old nuke, not even one of the, like, the original one, really. Like, we have bigger ones now. But 8.7 times 10 to the 13th. And 1 gram of antimatter, 1.8 times 10 to the 14th. Yeah. Hey, Tyler, is there like actually, like, just based on your background, right? Like, of like knowing physics, is there like an obvious reason why this is batshit and like not even worth investigating? Or is it just like, the general impression that this type of thing is like so far out there that, like, why would you like even think about that? Is there like, yeah, no way, it's physically impossible because XYZ, you're never going to actually be able to get and like release in a controlled fashion the energy of a gram of antimatter? We don't have the superconductors we need yet. We have superconductors, don't we? We just don't have room temperature ones, right? Or am I dumb? Wait, Tyler, also, like, the main thing is the superconductors, they only work when it's really cold, right? And, like, it's freaking absolute zero in space. Right? They saturate at high fields. Need high fields to store a lot of energy. Ah. That's freaking cool. They become nonlinear. So it's you have to confine it with magnetic fields. You need is the idea just that you need ridiculously strong magnets, and the only way to make ridiculously strong magnets is with really good superconductors? Is that the idea? Yes, if you don't want your coils melting. What if the coils were in frickin' space? Right? Does that help? Space is really cold. Cosmic microwave background. That helps a little. Dr. McNabb presented something for NASA for putting an electromagnetic launcher into a crater on the moon that was at superconducting temps. Would need to reflect the sunlight. That's freaking cool. Okay, so your calcs basically match mine, right? Oh no, wait, because it's billion versus per kilogram. You gotta put it into joules, dude. 0.6. Yeah, that's about it. At a joule range. Is yeah, like my like dead reckoning based on like no actual knowledge guess is like if you accidentally blew up a rocket, it would level like some city blocks. And if you accidentally, well, if you blew up a nuke, you know, it leaves like a mile wide crater or whatever. Where does it then Saturn V? This is the SpaceX one. Is the reference for biggest rocket. SpaceX Starship with super heavy booster. Air pressure. I mean, A crater's a crater, right? Isn't that a like irrelevant bet? Because like, yeah, like any explosion does that. The bigger explosion does it more, right? Or am I dumb? I mean, that's just saying it's a shockwave, right? But like, that's literally any explosive. So like, that's not like a meaningful distinction, then, yeah? It's not like, oh, it does more because the type. It's because it releases more energy, right? Obviously, like ignoring the radiation damage. Yeah, but like I wasn't even considering it for that, right? Like the point was not for weaponry. The point was like amount of energy. Like the amount of energy in a nuke is enough to get you into orbit. Literally. It's actually probably a lot more energy than you need to get you into orbit, considering it weighs a lot less than a ship, right? It probably weighs way less than the rocket as well. So that's probably enough to get like several of the like actual rocket capsules, like the crew capsules into space. 7 kg. But that's just the plutonium. Like there's still like a big amount of like surrounding stuff for it. So I think that they nowadays they do actually have them that are really small. 7K, that's crazy. Nothing. Out of topic question, my guy. This whole freaking conversation's out of topic. I'm just having fun talking sci-fi stuff because Tyler's around and he actually knows physics. Do you think PyTorch treats ops like Comp2D and Batchworm 2D and so on as single nodes, or they break them into elementary ops? Um, it depends on the operation. So like some operations have fused kernels and some don't. I would expect that Conv is pretty optimized and Batchnorm probably isn't. Nuclear Vault on YouTube. All right. Will do. I don't know. One of the things I would like to like get a sense of from physics though, Tyler, is like what sci-fi stuff is like obviously physically impossible. What is like probably possible, we just don't know how to do it yet. And like what is like, I don't know, maybe possible, may not be possible, you know? We'll save this link for later. Nuclear fusion test film. Diamond semis on large scale. What? I don't know what that means. Diamond semis? Oh, diamond semiconductors? I have a competition soon about EEG data classification. It's like a person looking at 3 circles flashing. We should predict which circle he's looking at now, given the EEG signal. That's cool. That's just some supervised learning there. For power electronics, that is the holy grail. But like, how good? Like, what does it let you do, right? Like, I can tell you, like, the holy grail for reinforcement learning, right? Like, what does it imply if we solve reinforcement learning? It means that you have a synthetic intelligence that is able to learn, like a human would or better, just from any form of interaction, like any form whatsoever of interaction. So in a sense, solving RL would mean solving intelligence itself. Reinforcement is just one way to learn. The solving of RL, right, the implication, right, the hypothesis is that it is a sufficient way to learn. How do you think I can use RL? There has to be an interaction part to it, Ahmed. Otherwise, it's just supervised learning. We don't try to shoehorn RL into everything. There has to be some interactive process. I think we have to solve intelligence first to get sci-fi applications. Yeah, and that's like the deep mind theory of stuff, right? Which is why I work on this as well. Because there are probably some problems that are AI complete. But I don't see language models getting us there. Honestly, more immediate term, the problem I care most about is the, like, aging and disease problem, because that buys us time to do everything else. But that one's also probably AI complete. All right, let me actually get this sweep running. I'm going to just be here yakking. I don't think there will ever be any aging. Why not? I mean, that seems ridiculous. The biological process, of course you can screw with it. We just don't know how to yet. There are already immortal strains of cells, right? It actually, to me, it seems impossible that we can't solve it. I'm biased. Yeah, but that's like super depressing, right? I mean, that's like such a defeatist. Like, I don't know. I'm pretty optimistic about tech and what tech can do for us. Um, I honestly think like one of the crazier beliefs I have is that I think we're literally going to look back on today and I don't even know how many years, maybe not that many. We're going to look back on today like the literal dark ages. Like we look back on like cavemen or like Neanderthals. Like literally. That's going to be the difference. No, I'm not really religious. I mean, any way you cut it, it's still lame as hell, right? It's still freaking lame as hell. Especially like aging is lame as hell as well. Disease is lame as hell. Things that should just be eradicated. They're just tough problems. They're not impossible though. No one even went from Mexico. I don't know. I toured there. I went and visited them in Palo Alto. Too much doom and gloom. I mean, this isn't doom and gloom. This is pretty damn techno-optimist, right? You want doom and gloom, just open X and open any social media or any news app. You'll lose all faith in humanity instantly. But like, tech is still pretty good. They unceremoniously took my free credits. How will Grok play Pokemon? Dude, just start adding like X employees and like instead of like posting all this cringe shit, just be like, hey, like link to Grok plays Pokemon. Like I'm trying to do, I'm trying to make Grok play Pokemon. Can anyone hook me up with some credits? Making a general statement, referring to. Yeah. The literal worst captcha. Oh yeah, I saw those. Those are freaking funny. honestly, at some point, the captures are just going to be like, you know, if you get the right answer, then you're an AI. Transfer learning. Yeah, I don't think anybody actually understands transfer learning, Jason. I can explain transfer learning in a cavalier way that's basically... All right, ready? This is transfer learning. All right, this is the MIT approved you know, PhD, whatever dumb credentials way of explaining transfer learning, okay? This is your train. Okay? And then this is like test. So if this works, then transfer doesn't work. Okay? And then if this is your train, that's worth posting. That's transfer learning. Now camera's gonna start lagging because of all this. Yeah, I don't know about this run here, if this repros or not. I mean, I don't know what will repro if this doesn't. Let's check on a few of the experiments. Guess we have to go like SSHN. Like, oh, aborted. I caught that. So we are at 8.4 billion steps with 4 mincom prof. Yo, Spencer. I got one of them up and running. The other one I gotta wait for a VGA cable because the SSH default isn't working. I got DDP running and it seems to be doing okay. I'm checking that now. So what did I say? 8.4 billion. Oh yeah, that basically is spot on with the original curve, even a little better. So yeah, it looks like we've got DDP running. Pretty solid. It required some fixes. Definitely needed some fixes. I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with sweep still. I'm running the old sweep, like that should repro, and it may or may not be reproing. We're not sure yet. I've got neural MMO running on 4 GPUs. I've got a neural MMO baseline on one of the boxes. I've got a sweep on latest puffer with old configs. And then I've got an old sweep running with the old configs to see if that repros. Any questions on envs, or actually let me grab a drink and then I can answer any questions on env dev, and then I'm going to bed. Also, TinyBox is in the background. I will show these. Don't let me forget to switch screen. All right, come answer whatever about environments. If you have questions. Hey, Hyper. Camera light has me super red for some reason right now. I think I figured out a small fix on resampling. Go for it, and I'm around to discuss if you want. Yep. I'll hop on disc. Discuss this and I'm going to bed. Are you ending live or just starting? Ending in a bit. I've been live since... I think I was a little lazy today. I started a bit after 10.
Yo.
Maybe I started at 12 because I had to do the TinyBox. I don't remember. Hey, Spencer.
By the way, your stream's only on your face right now.
Thank you. Yeah, there's nothing to show on the screen, though, at now.
Alright, anyways. Okay,
All I have
so,
is laggy camera because I'm running sweep on my local box as well.
Let's go.
so I think I have... Well, we'll find out if it solves it or not, but you know how when resampling on GPU drive, it was like really degrading performance pretty hardcore every time I resampled?
Yeah?
I think... Well, I'm running an experiment right now. The problem was that
everything's crashing. Hello? Okay.
Hi.
That was weird.
Still hear you.
I must have kicked a cable or something. I literally don't know. It's like either that or I'm overloading the GPU with the local sweeps. So
could be that.
Hyper, damn, get a life, get me one with you, dude. I mean, freaking advancing, like trying to advance all this science here is a pretty all-consuming endeavor. You're more than welcome to come pull up and help us dev on it so we do it faster. Because I have lots of other science to work on after I solve this shit in RL. Alright. There was a change in resampling, Spencer. I apologize. What were you saying?
You're good. I think the problem was that from the beginning, it wasn't getting that diverse of a sample based on the random being called too quickly, and I think they were basically running the same randoms within a few milliseconds. And since the seeding of randoms based off of time null, which is based in seconds, it wasn't getting that diverse of a level. So even when you try to resample the same 100, which I thought was statistically diverse enough, I think it actually wasn't. And that's why it was failing. So when I changed the random seeding to another way of getting time, but I think you can get it in terms of microseconds, or at least in a smaller thing where you'd see a difference between one process to another when spawning them.
Yeah.
You see a difference? It was no longer hard capped at 86% on perf.
You know, I've actually looked at trying to fix that before, but it's kind of obnoxious to get the time in microseconds, right?
Yeah, so
I didn't do it. So good call.
I don't know if it's gonna fully solve it, right? But I have a new sweep going. It's gonna take a day, right? Because it's slow.
You know, we might want to just integrate that into env binding, where we pass a seed in, and we make Puffer default give you time ns or something.
Yeah, there's something you could do there.
Oh, another seeding thing. Seeding was also breaking DDP.
Oh, really?
Yeah, seeding because it was seeding all the workers the same, breaking DDP.
Yeah, the reason why I found that was a problem for seeding was because when I was doing terraform experiments, the Perlin, what was it? I was trying to give it a random seed with Perlin noise, and somewhere in the sweep, it was spawning levels that started at 25% completion. Which meant that there was some percentage of the grouping of levels that were identical.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so I applied that solution, and then I'm running that. I did a bunch of small things to Terraform. I added an observation because we didn't have an observation to see its own load. And I added a legal action, small penalty. I changed a little bit of how um, the delta observation map, like the second channel of the conv is done. And and then I added instead of doing teleportitis via random, I made it teleportitis if you're stuck for a certain period of time.
But if they're all
Just
like mosh pit in the corner, that's the one concern there.
What do you mean?
If they're all like doing like donuts or whatever in like a little like corner of the map, like stuff can happen like that where it's just like I do that in neural MMO because like agents can just group up. Teleportitis is a pretty good hack for that.
Maybe I just need to play with the frequency of it then.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it works for neural MMO, I mean, I guess it probably could work.
Well, the thing that's a little tricky with it is depending on how you treat your episodes, it can like cap your score or whatever during train time. So like it's a little tricky to configure.
Let's see if there's anything else that I was trying to get out. I mean, hopefully these sweeps just work. The current experiment I'm running on Terraform is instead of doing Perlin noise to Perlin noise, I'm doing Perlin noise to random map of either 0 or 2 on height, and seeing if it can figure that out next.
The dilation's gonna mess with you.
I turned off dilation to 1 because the scoop is 1.
You can try it. It's tough because they can't see very far at all then.
Yeah, I mean they can't see very far, but I also constricted the map a little bit. And then I changed the reward scale to 1 because it's only picking up 1 dirt. But I mean, I'm sweeping reward scale, so we'll see what it finds.
Yep.
And then I dropped dozer capacity because it was abusing rewards by just picking up everything without ever putting anything down.
I'd already dropped dozer capacity a ton.
It was at like 200 earlier.
Yeah, it was at 5,000 before, man.
All right, well I made it 10 because it only picks up 1 at a time.
Yeah, that's real small though. That's like that's smaller than the actual bucket is gonna be.
Well, it's all relative, right?
Yeah. Have anything here? I still don't know what the hell's wrong with the sweeps, man. Like, I'm hoping
Something is up for
I'm
sure.
hoping this repros. So like, not this. I've got these. This is so far there's 76 runs in here.
Okay.
Like a better maybe. So this is
Your
the
screen's not
branch
showing
that I
anything.
Oh, yeah, my bad. So this is the branch in which I ran the old good maze sweep. It got like 98%.
Yeah.
You know, actually this might be correct. Because I'm looking at this thing and this thing is running longer experiments already than the current sweeps do. Maybe this is just like I wake up in the morning, this repros, and then the other one is just like, okay, figure out what specific hyperparam like sweep settings it was that was screwing you up. That would be ideal. And then it'll
On
be
on GPU drive stuff?
no, it's default config stuff.
Ah.
Once I fix this, it'll fix everything.
Yeah.
It's hard to say, Ben.
I'm facing the same issue at the moment.
Sorry.
Hopefully it can be figured out the next
I'm working on it. I got
Because you haven't
DDP
touched
actually
sweep
working
code,
now.
right?
What's that?
You haven't touched sweep code, yeah? Like not for like a
Yeah,
while.
no, I haven't. I checked. I cleaned up some like minor debug stuff in there. Zero change to the actual logic. It's mostly the default
Like
sweep
the
parameter
means.
ranges have changed a bit.
Yeah.
A little fiddly. So I'm thinking I want to do. So I gotta like things I gotta do for release, right? Like top priority is get sweeps working because that's just required for everything. DDP is a required thing in this release as well because I promised a client that it would be included. Um, and also DDP is just good to have, so we'll have that in. I gotta like get all the env baselines, get all the demos for the site, and then we can just ship 3.0. Pretty much set. Um, it's been set. It's just been needing the final experiments, like always drag. And then after that, I've got like a couple things to do on meta, but otherwise, like I think building some industry sims, like Terraform is definitely one. GPU drive stuff is another. I'm thinking we should do some sort of like drone stuff just because it would be so freaking easy with like the swarming capabilities we have. They would be so easy.
Yeah, I don't think there's any issue with that. Especially after seeing Target. I mean, ideally, I'm trying to get GPU drive into 3.0.
Yeah.
I'm just like at war with resampling for like the past like 2 weeks.
Whoa.
I think what we should do is we should take some of these things that you're discovering and like try to make them harder to screw up. Like we should probably get seeding to be like if you just use the env binding seeding, you'll just never have
Yeah.
that bug. Stuff like that.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, I need to think about some of like the small things I change here and there to make things work and see if those could be helpful in other environments.
I mean,
Because
I
like there's
was
only so many things that can go wrong. I feel like
yeah.
this point I have so much confidence in the RL that it's just like
Yeah.
something else must be wrong.
Well, it's just like I still break shit every so often. So like when the sweeps go wrong, that takes confidence and stuff, right? Like there's still things that need to be tested and whatnot. It's overall pretty damn good.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd agree. Yeah, so I think next experiments. I mean, I think also I want to do like a puffer drive post GPU drive
Yep.
on like a large scale map. I think we still have that. I haven't heard back from that guy because I know he's
Yeah.
back from his trip from Europe, but I think that's something that's still
Yeah, we owe
probably
him.
worth some attention.
Yeah, and any of those could be good sized things.
And then I'll let you know how my conversation goes with the factory people tomorrow.
Yeah, could
Other than
definitely be
that, I mean, I think
useful.
on Terraform, I don't think I have too many questions. I mean, right now it's just seeing if this see if this experiment on solving if it can figure out random twos or zeros on the map and do reasonably well. And if it does, then I'll try doing that with the Perlin noise to Perlin noise. Other than that, I mean, I've considered putting dilate as a hyperparameter,
Could do.
and I've considered adding a channel of the position of if there's an agent within the same radius of its vision. That might slow perf a little bit, but it's only. I mean, I don't. In reality, I don't think we're ever gonna have like 1,000 dozers.
That's what you think.
Well, if you do, it would have to be like a grid channel, dude. Right?
Are they not like a grid? already.
They're not
Well, I was just
technically
gonna
on
add it
grid.
as another channel to the conv.
Yeah, that's how you do it. You would have to loop over all the dozers.
Yeah. I mean, I was trying to find any other way of doing it beyond that, but I think I'm stuck with that approach at the moment.
I think do that for now because everything else is going to be actually more obnoxious. Like that's going to be the mixed continuous grid bullshit thing.
And I don't think it's that bad. Like I said, I mean, as long as I don't put in 1,000 dozers in there, then it's not the end of the world. I mean, it can loop over something like 15 times. It shouldn't break anything too crazy.
I might go for like a log n or like an n log n thing. No, not n log n, a log n thing. With like drone stuff soon, anyways. So I might end up making us like a nice piece that we can use for that.
For what exactly in terms of
Well,
making
because
something
just
unlog
like discretizing, I don't want to have to discretize shit into like 3D cubes. I just want to have like an easy way of getting nearby entities.
Oh yeah, that's still up in the air as to how to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Their algorithms tricky.
Yeah.
I mean, the grid thing is not bad, but it is like the
It's
obs are
not
kind
bad,
of
but I mean, it's not super fast either. I mean, at least I feel like I
Yeah.
did like a pretty decent job of making it fast, but
it's
I
not
feel like I'm more
amazing.
just like, it's not amazing, right?
Well, actually, I think that you can make the logic for like updating it in the env code. You can do that millions, no problem.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only reason it's not mega fast in GPU drive is the whole observation like being size like 4,000.
Yes. So that like the thing is, it does add bandwidth, and also comms are just not that fast of an architecture. It turns out.
They're not. Yeah.
Like honestly, if whenever we can get away with it, doing like linear into LSTM or like MLP into LSTM gets us 2 million step per second training with like 2 mil per amps.
Right.
Which is like, you know, we could end up literally doing 10 mil step per second training with a 512 hidden dim on
That's
a box.
pretty big.
That's only like, I think Dota, like the Dota model is a 4096 hidden dim.
Yeah, it was.
But do they not have any comms?
Nope. They have a whole bunch of fancy like subnet encoders though.
Yeah.
I think they might have had a couple like map obs comms, I forget.
But even then, I mean, their encoders weren't that crazy.
Their encoders were incredibly crazy.
Really?
they
I
they
feel
could
like
have just been like totally simple, right?
Their
I thought they
encoders
just
were
had like a bunch of them, but they just tossed in like regular features in there.
No, Spencer, Dodo was easy.
Go look at the. It's probably like one of the most ridiculous neural nets I've ever seen. So like, yeah, go look up the OpenAI 5 architecture real quick.
That's saying something.
Well, I thought we went over this one day, and you were like,
It's
"Yeah,
conceptually
these
simple. It's
these encoders are
conceptually.
like not the end of the world. It's just like
It's not
we
the end
have
of the
one
world
here."
in the sense that like, it's like you can see very easily how you would put them together for any given problem based on the data types. But it still makes a huge mess of the network, and it's very hard to make that run fast.
Well, was Dota fast, or did they just drop like
They
ungodly
dropped-
amounts of compute on top of
They
it?
dropped 1,000 GPUs on it.
Right.
Oh, also, let's see how what we need to do to beat the Dota record. That's the thing we can do now.
What in terms of like
the
steps
Dodo
per
record.
like total steps per hour or whatever?
So 2 million frames every 2 seconds.
Oh, that's like 1 million frames per second, right?
Hang on. Oh. Well, I mean, we just know we're faster than that because we process more than 1,000,000 SPS. So they did 1,000,000 SPS for 2 months with a rerun.
Right, as long as your frame equals your stuff.
Yeah. So literally like 2 months. That's like literally all we have to do is we run on one box. Like Neural MMO3, we run on one box for a week and we take that record.
Yeah.
For a week or 2 months?
One multi GPU box for like 2 weeks.
Ah.
A week or two. Yo, what's up?
Hey.
Sanemi-san. How's it going?
What's good? What's Gucci?
And what's up, Linky? Is Dota still as popular as it was?
I think people still play Dota. It's definitely nowhere near as popular as it was, but I think there's still like a loyal community.
Like versus League?
Yeah.
How is it doing?
League's way more
League is
popular,
raw
in my
stomping
opinion.
in terms of popularity.
Oh, by the way, I
Yeah.
actually, Spencer, I thought of something that we could do if we wanted to try to go back and see if we can get Riot interested. We
Oh,
could,
yeah?
Something that
Yeah.
would be way easier than like full MOBA is we could make like a really good laning sim.
There you go.
Just laning.
In
Yeah.
terms of like what, like
I can last it.
like the actual hero laning or the champ laning or creep laning?
Creep laning.
Creep laning versus like RL like enemy, so it's like a micro practice thing. And just get like a really,
Yeah, why
really
don't you
solid
just
micro.
like
Yes, enemy?
So you could, why not just solve that with just a hard-coded last hitter bot?
Because it's really freaking hard to do that.
Is it really?
Yes, incredibly. It's not an easy problem.
You start to get a bunch of them lower health. Yeah, that's true.
No, you're also the enemy is freaking hitting you.
Yeah. Well,
You're managing your health as well. You're trading like health for last hits and stuff.
Yeah.
What brand is your microwave? What? What question is this, my guy?
hold on.
Are you saying I'm cooked?
I'll answer this. I could tell you.
I have a shitter microwave. Thank you for asking.
Just
Have a
saying,
Hamilton Beach.
So I'm
It's
on the Dota 2
actual trash.
architecture.
And Spencer, not impressed.
Okay, the ability, item, and modifier encoders are not that big a deal. It's they concat some stats, throw fully connected. I'm assuming that's what FC means.
Normal pre-processing.
But
Yeah,
really with
FC's fully
maximum.
connected.
So the unit stats, I don't think are that big a deal. But then they do what appears to be another round based on I guess their enemy heroes. The max pool slicing is like a little gross.
That's kind of it. Like that's kind of like an early multi-headed attention kind of a vibe.
It kind of feels like attention, yeah.
And that unit attention keys thing is a pain as well. I did that with Neural MMO before.
That I have no idea what that is, but
yeah, I had to do that in my PhD. It was jank.
Does it actually do anything?
Yes, it does. Doesn't work.
So I understand like what max pooling does, but how does like processing something through like a fully connected to max pooling and then I guess drop a relu or something after that cause it to like give attention vibes? Like is it just because you like essentially
the max is over units
and then
no, it's totally different with images versus with what we use it for in RL, man. So like it's max pool over entities. So like think that you have like 10 units that you can look at instead of feeding them into a big flat layer where like you don't know what order which one is in and like you have to learn for all possible orders. You pass each one through the same layer independently and then you max over the result. So it's basically you get like an embedding for each entity independently and then you take a max element wise, so that actually gives you like that operation is mathematically identical no matter what order you put them in. That's the key.
Okay, I'm speaking from like deep diving max pooling, I don't know, like 5 months ago when I was reading Bowie's architecture in Pokemon.
How many parameters did this model have?
168
This
mil.
many?
168 million.
Okay, with exception of unit attention keys, it's easy to read, but could I have come up with this? Probably not. This thing's super dense.
Yeah, this is literally the best. Like, this is the best
Like-
RL like result in the field in RL. This team was amazing as well.
I am not seeing any comms though.
I forget whether they had any in the final version. They might have had like some map embedding stuff. How's TinyBox? I have one of them set up already, and the other one I need to get VGA cable to set up correctly. But I have it running distributed training on Neural MMO right now, and we're gonna see how that goes overnight.
You're definitely gonna have to order VGA cables because last time I had to look for one, like they don't even sell them at Walmart. Radio Shack's no longer a thing. Like
That's
I
so
had to go
funny
through
that you
Amazon just to get one.
That's so funny that you assume I would actually try to go somewhere to get one. It'll show up in a day or two. Like,
That
that's so funny. Dude, I don't know when the last time I've like gone out to buy something versus just ordering it is. Like, I straight up don't remember.
I am paranoid and I do not do online shopping very often because I just don't like putting my card information out there
On Amazon?
on anywhere. I don't care how secure you think anything is, it's not.
Aren't you not even liable for fraud?
It doesn't matter. I don't want to go through the whole rigmarole of calling my bank and marking everything as fraud and then having to cancel the card because my bank is out of state and then having to get another one sent to me.
Yeah, okay.
Joseph, what were you thinking of wanting to do on the drone side of things with like swarm behavior?
Take my current env, make it 3D to start with, match some dynamics a bit better, add like a penalty for crashing into shit, and then change the task from like go to goal to like, I don't know, some stuff you might want drones to do.
Isn't drone RL like something they teach in school nowadays where it's like some of the basic concepts is to make a drone hover close to like some fixture and it's supposed to like track how close it is to that?
No, they do not teach you that in school.
I'm gonna say confidently, I was not taught that in school.
Yeah, they don't teach that shit in school, man.
I only say that because I perused the reinforcement learning thing on Reddit and I've seen probably like it's probably like the fifth or so most common post I see, and I can only assume it comes from like schooling or something because you
Oh.
see like stock exchange RL, and then you get like the basic questions on like why does DQN suck, and then somebody comes in and they're like, well, I'm trying to get a pole to stand up, and then another guy's like, my class is like, hey, get a drone to hover as close as you can to this object.
Send them all over to PufferLib so they don't have to suffer. Don't suffer, use Puffer.
I do. Anytime anyone brings up PPO, I'm like, hey, go look at this.
Oh, look at Puffer.
You've actually been name dropped quite a few times in
Oh, that's
that
cool.
board.
The funny thing is, like, you guys, I stream all the time. Like, if you want to come do some RL stuff, you can literally just come hang out.
I
and build
literally
stuff,
tell
yeah.
them.
It's like,
Like,
dude, like you
people
can
bring
literally
up
just come
your-
out. You can just come hang out and build shit.
Yeah, people bring up Neural MMO often. Like
Guys,
one
I'm
post
right
I seen,
freaking here.
they said it was in their top 10 papers that they actually like
Yo, link me that post.
Red.
Link me that post. I'll DM the guy.
Will do.
Oh, Joseph, one more end question on Terraform.
Yeah.
What do you think about? So I switched it back to fixed resetting, and I mean, it expands fairly well to, go from wherever it stopped, and you just turn off, the resets and let it eval for a while. But it has a hard time doing like final details. Is that something that we should handle through a more complex reset like you originally did with based off of, continuous reward progress? Or
It's
do
a
we just
bit
like
tricky.
fine tune it with smaller with certain groupings of environments where like you only have to modify two things?
It needs to learn to close out the end without like forgetting how to do stuff because it's not getting reward anymore is the tricky thing. I mean, ultimately, if you have a metric that is like percent of env terraformed, right?
Yeah, that's what I have.
If you like get that sort of a metric going, and like the sweep just gets closer and closer to that, you'll see it do more of the details. The other thing is like we might not even have to solve that problem. We might just be able to like, you know, like when they drive over thing, it like smooths it because it's a bulldozer. Right?
Yeah, I mean, right now we're kind of using a bulldozer as like all forms of construction vehicles because it's like grabbing things from like the top of a mountain.
Well,
Or
only if
rather,
it's
you're
a
grabbing
sheer
it.
slope, because it can't actually go up a mountain. There's a maximum
Sure,
delta.
because of the step height or whatever.
Yeah, there's a max delta. You actually have that post link key?
I am actually looking for it right now.
That's always fun.
Yeah, I'll send you a link as soon as I find it.
It's kind of funny that like people don't realize like when they see a cool thing, like half the time you can just message the guy and be like, "Yo, I like this thing. Like, can we talk about your stuff?" And most of the time people will be like, "Yeah, cool."
All right, I think I'm gonna head out. I'll let you know how sweeps go tomorrow morning.
Alright, I'm going to bed soon. I'm just making sure things are reasonable. And then I'm going to get sleep as well. Devin all day. They just fiddling with experiments. Welcome, droid. Okay, this seems worse, this 44 one. Okay, this is the sketch thing. Is it like leveling before 0.7? Like technically this has already gotten a little bit above 0.7, but not much. I hope there wasn't some like jank env change. Or is it up? If I got any messages to answer. All right, that's all my stuff handled. I'm gonna call it and get some sleep. We have some folks
Cool.
on Twitch. So yeah, for the
Yeah.
folks watching Dev, thanks for dropping by. Got a ton of experiments running. I'm hoping that tomorrow we'll just have the sweep stuff fixed, the DTP stuff fixed, and we'll be able to like queue all our experiments up. We'll fix some stuff on meta. We'll fix a few other things. We'll do Terraform stuff, all that. And yeah, we should actually be able to ship this thing quite soon. The experiments always drag on, so like it's fine. I've already started on like new stuff with Terraform and whatnot, like post 3.0 anyways. But if any of you are developing environments, get them PR'd so that they get into 3.0. And if you would like to be developing environments, it's all open source. All the things at puffer.ai. Start the GitHub to help us out for free. Really helps. Want to get involved with dev, join the Discord. Whether you're already an RL guru or if you're just looking to learn. Taught new people. We've brought in existing people. It's a good time. Is dev behind 3.0? Yeah, go 3.0. 3.0 is just like, I made the release branch because otherwise I have to change all the links in the new docs. So yeah, it's just use 3.0. 3.0 is going to be the branch that just gets swapped to the main one. Anyways. Yeah. So yeah, join Discord. And other than that, you can follow me on X for more RL content. Where, I don't know what the heck this highlights thing is posting, but there's RL content here. Alright, I'm gonna get some sleep. I will be back first thing in the morning with more dev. Night.